What's good? It's Cadillaktrackz. This is quick tip number 28. Today's quick tip is about sequencing. Sequencing, everyone has their own preference. Everybody likes their own length for the intro and their own length for the verse and the chorus. So it's kind of hard to explain sequencing, but this is just one way to do it. This is just one ideal. This is a quick tip about how to sequence. What I like to do is I like to make just 3 scenes or 3 or 4 scenes, and I like to have those scenes repeating, and then I'll go ahead and I'll sequence the beat out in Fruity Loops. So you can see in Fruity Loops I have it sequenced out, and I'll have an intro right here on scene 1. You'll see I make scene 1, and I'll have 3 scenes, and I'll make 3 patterns, or I have 4 scenes and 4 patterns. So I'll match the number of patterns and scenes. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make the first scene, and I'll make it about 8 bars, just because I like an 8-bar intro. You can make it however long you want yours. And then I'll go ahead and I'll make a scene 2, and scene 2 will be another pattern. And I'll go ahead and I'll make that 16 bars. It'll be the start of my verse. And you can kind of hear this. I'll show you this real quick. It's an 8-bar intro. And you can see I painted out on Fruity Loops too. And once the beat drops, it'll drop here. I haven't mixed this yet. This is something I'm still working on. And then bam, it'll go. So you got to pay attention to the numbers up here on the top. You know, these numbers correspond to these numbers. So 9 up here is 9 up here. And you want to go ahead and set that up. So I have scene 2, and then I'll have it dropping for 16 bars, which will put it from 9 to 25. But my little chorus thing, or little bridge, doesn't come in until 33. So I had to make another scene, and I made this one 8 bars. So I had 16 plus 8, which was whatever, 24. And then let's see. See it's linked up right now. It's about to get to 33 right here. And then I had it repeat itself, you know, because I had a little bridge. It was about the same. It was the same melody as the intro, as the chorus. I might switch that up later. So you can see that what I'm doing is I'm just using a few repeating patterns or scenes down here, and then I'm sequencing out the whole beat up here on Fruity Loops. This is just one method to do it. But all you have to really do is pay attention to the numbers right there. And also, once you have these patterns laid out, what I do on my machine is I hold down scene, and I pick the first pad like this, and then I pick the last pad while holding the first pad, and it selects in this little range. Then that's how it'll loop up here. You know, that's how it'll loop. It'll have its own loop down here, and it'll have its own loop up here. And what you want to do is sync them up. And one way you can do it is on the machine, and another way is with your mouse right here. You can grab it right here, and you can tell where the loop goes. And that's what the loop will do. It'll go to right there where I set it. And then it'll repeat. If you didn't want to do this repeat way, you can always sequence it out. All you got to do is pay attention to the scene numbers. They could be out of order, look like my patterns are out of order, but don't pay attention to the pattern. Just the scene number, scene 1, 2, 3, and whatever the scenes may be. Just remember that order, and then you can always click right here on the arrow, and right click right there and select scenes, and go ahead and paint out the picture. And this is just one way to sequence out beats on machine and Fruity Loops. So like I said, all you want to do is sequence them up, or make yourself some patterns for the intro, pattern for the verse, maybe 2 patterns for the verse. And each pattern has its own scene. Lay out those scenes, lay out those patterns. And you could have it repeat itself like I do, or you could have it you can paint it all the way out, just like you do on Fruity Loops. And that's how I do it. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe. I'll let y'all hear a little bit of the melody. I'm out. 1.